Okay, that looks so stupid.
It's alive.
We are live.
All right.
It says captions are auto generated. This is going to be fun if it actually does that.
Uh,
Bubblegum fish stop sign.
all right. Well, we are live. Good afternoon. We are here for At Home Con. We can't do conventions this year. Go figure. We've got coronavirus and everything else going on in this crazy world. So
Yep.
we are taking to Facebook and joining At Home Con, put together by the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. Thanks so much to Sean Ray and those guys for hosting all this. We're the Alabama Ghostbusters, and we'll tell you all about us in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, we'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Brock Parker, been with the group since 2009, so 11 years, and feeling every bit of the age. So, who's next?
All right. Well, I am Bo Beard. I have been about this with the group just as long, probably just a few months after you, Brock, I believe. But yeah, been with it ever since. Love doing it. I miss us being out and be able to go out and do stuff. But hopefully soon, we'll get back to it.
And my name is David Rayleigh. However, most people more know me as Rookie.
He's got a name.
I know, right? But no, I joined this group back in 2009 and have been a part of it for well over a decade, which is weird to think about.
When he joined, he did have the baby face.
Yeah,
Very.
I joined at 16.
He was still in high school when he joined us.
he's literally grew up in front of us.
And
You're done?
I am.
Okay. I want to make sure. My name's Shane Pardue. I've been with the Alabama Ghostbusters for a year now, I want to say.
Yeah, a little over a year, probably.
Yeah.
Probably over a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Over here.
So that's my story. Don't have a fancy title or fancy thing.
Short, sweet, to the point. I like it.
That's how we roll. So yeah, we're thrilled to join you here on the stream for At Home Con. This is our very first live stream ever for the group. So hopefully we'll do this some justice. It's not our first panel. We've done plenty of panels at conventions and all, but since we're all stuck indoors and all, we decided, hey, why not?
And already it looks like the comments are streaming in.
They are, yeah. So for anybody who wants to leave comments for us, ask us questions, we're going to be on here for about an hour. So feel free to ask whatever questions you got about the group, about our Ghostbusters knowledge, about toys. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do.
Literally.
We're here just to sit back and relax with you guys for an hour and talk about all things Ghostbusters.
Hey, Brock, do I need to start like a fireplace and so we can have a fireside chat?
Yes.
Yes, and make sure you break out the pipes.
Yes.
We gotta.
Oh, okay. That's something. Sean Ray just said, "Bring the web series back," and I think that's something that would be.
Ooh.
The web series, yes.
Ooh.
Well, as you can see, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the web series, the Alabama Ghostbusters, the web series, myself, Bo, and Rookie, we were the three people who were in it as the Ghostbusters, and of course Adam Schwartz put the whole thing together, and we had a wonderful time doing it. Our last episode was in 2013. We've all kind of changed since then. Thankfully, I've lost weight. Rookie's gotten a beard.
I've gained weight and got a beard.
Well, and I gained
That's
a beard.
multitasking.
So yeah, the web series, will it ever come back?
Never say never.
I tell you what, though, one of the things that the three of us have discussed, because we've all moved on from where we were at that point in life. I mean, 7 years ago. One thing that that we'll probably do if we ever decide to pick it back up. Might be easier for myself and Bo because we live in the same area now, just a
Yeah.
few moments from each other. Rookie is still down living where he was when the
Back down
when
in
the
Auburn.
series was going on. So we might all sit around and just kind of give you a brief recap of what happened after the arrests and all this other jazz, and may start something new. But we have to find time to do that. We're all gainfully employed with families for the most part, and
Yeah.
Yep.
um, I don't know if Adam would have free time to come back on board and film it. Um,
We see you, Ryan.
yeah, and I'm not singing, Ryan. Um,
No, hold on. He's not asking you to sing. He's asking me
Oh,
to sing, and I will.
yeah, Rook can sing. I'm not going to sing, but maybe one day we'll get back to the web series. But we've got to get to a point in life where all of our kids are older and we've all got to get back together. Well, Rook, you got to have kids first.
Especially mine.
Well, it'd be fun. It would be kind of a good thing to fun to sit down is, have, like I said, we need to get with Adam because the best thing about that was it was a prime opportunity for all of us. We had access through stuff with Adam with his job at the time. And, we were able to have high quality for a fan series. And like I said, he had a lot of folks working on it that made it look pristine. Like I said, I was just fortunate to be part of it. I didn't, do anything past, doing my terrible acting on camera.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, maybe one day I swear I would do. If anything, like I said, it would be fun to sit down and talk about it. See if we could get Adam. We could do something like this. Sit down and talk about what could have happened, or it'd be fun to see what fan fiction we had for what happened. That would be an interesting territory,
And
Not like I've had any ideas.
and
Does it involve a panda?
No,
you know what? You never know.
Inside joke. By the way, my wife
I know.
has a surprise in that area.
It's
I've seen a couple of questions about the new movie. We'll get to those in just a bit. But for now, just a quick overview of the Alabama Ghostbusters. We were established back in 2008. Michael Whitten established us as the Birmingham Ghostbusters. I took over the group in 2009 and we wanted to give it a more statewide focus, so I changed the group to the Alabama Ghostbusters. And we have members all over the great state of Alabama. And so in the past, we've done a lot of charity events, a lot of community events, such as going out to different festivals, community events, charity fundraisers. The past few years, like I said, we've all kind of hit real life situations, a lot of life changes for quite a bit of us, major life changes, but we're all still very close and keep in contact. And the charity aspect just kind of suffered because of just the way life has happened. But
Staying in contact, but 6 feet apart.
yeah, exactly. Wear your mask, Alabama. Anyway. So anyway, we'll get back into the charity aspect. Hopefully, when all this is over, and there's a good concentration of us in the Birmingham area now. We'll get back to it. We haven't really done much as a group in a while.
Well, we had big plans. Unfortunately, the the world had other plans. But I mean, they're there. We just got to be able to execute them finally.
Yeah, and I see Houston saying that his wife would lose her mind if pandas were involved. Apparently, you're not in on that joke. We'll fill you in.
Yeah, we'll have some.
Look up Ghostbusters Panda Division on Facebook. That's all.
There you go. And
But yeah, we'll get back to it. We all actually, quite a few of us met at Kevin Gardner's house in February, hung out for a little bit, played board games, and really discussed what we were going to do. We had been invited down to Fanaticon in Dothan. We were going to have a pretty big presence there. That was going to be our first big con presence is Magic City Con last year here in Birmingham, and everything fell apart, and all the cons have been canceled. I mean, Dragon Con right now is on the verge of shutting the door for the year, and also that's why we have at home con. So
Yeah.
we appreciate Sean and the guys for putting this on, so we can at least still put on our flight suits and be with you. But uh, yeah, we'll get back to it. We were planning on the resurgence, especially with the new movie coming out,
Yeah.
which we're all looking forward to. Of course, and that's been pushed back to early March of next year, and hopefully doesn't. Hopefully, everybody stays well enough and things get better to where we can actually enjoy the movie. But I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you guys talk. What do you guys want to discuss?
Well, first of all, I guess we'll address some more of the comments. Of course, Brett, good to hear from you on the other side of the globe now. Brett
Yeah,
used to be with us
Brett.
now he's up and moved to, was it
Scotland.
Scotland?
He has moved back to his home where his people are from.
It's all good, Brett.
And Brett, I'm still working on the project of yours. I'm so sorry. You know, this everything's in disarray. It's great. We'll go back through the comments really quickly.
I got a question for me, apparently.
All right.
This is from Joe. It says, have you had any strange encounters with children's car toy rides outside grocery stores since the last possessed one hit on? No, but there is an animatronic that owes me money at Rat Pizza and Child Casino, formerly known as Chuck E. Cheese. So, not exactly the same thing, but almost a similar situation.
I still have that video saved on YouTube privately where you're riding the car down to Andalusia.
That's so funny.
And I would do it again.
And I see the YHS army is invading, wanting to know let Rook buy something.
Hey, Craig. No, we're not on eBay now. I promise you, my wife and I will be tonight. We will be tonight. Don't know if we're buying anything, but we're definitely going to be hanging out with the Yes Have Some podcast group. So, and we'll go ahead before the comments start scrolling up. More so, I was asked what hair gel do I use. I do not use hair gel.
It just does that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Trezubé.
it's trained.
Rich Carpenter asked, will the original cast show up in the new movie? The answer is yes. It is fairly well known. There's no spoilers. It's well known that everybody, of course, except for Harold Ramis, will be in the new movie.
I think Rick Moranis also. I think
Moranis will not be there. Sigourney, Annie, Ernie, Bill, and Dan will be in there, though. That's not anything spoilerish for the new movie.
You spoiled it for me.
Oh no!
Sorry, you haven't been paying attention to all the major nerd news outlets. So, yeah.
Well, what's really good?
Us one.
Yeah. What's been really good though, like with the the original release date, just little under 2 weeks away originally what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really good. Like not too many spoilers have really popped out. I mean, you could probably find stuff if you go searching for it, which don't, just
don't.
save and enjoy it. Just save and enjoy it. Like I said, we waited 30 plus years. We can wait a few more months.
Yeah, and don't go looking up Hallmark ornaments either.
Yeah, well, it's a tiny spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler, but it's a new piece of equipment that we haven't seen yet. That's on the Hallmark ornament coming out this year. It's the Ecto one with a little
accessory
bonus. Yeah,
that's neat.
But
we were discussing last night that they had the interesting opportunity of being able to polish a film for like a year.
Yeah. Yeah, when Josh Gad was doing he's about to do his last episode, I guess, for the first season of Reunited Apart on YouTube. It's been fantastic, but he had a lot of the original cast members from Ghostbusters, and he was asking Jason Reitman. Jason and Ivan were talking about this strange opportunity that with everything that's been put on hold, he's one of the few directors who's now got time to go back and just really take a sharper eye, and not really pressed for a release date at the moment.
Yeah, I see Jeremy talking down there. He says avoid Lego sets. Yeah, that's a weird thing for many spoilers have happened over movies the last few years, like the Lego sets. Like I had something kind of spoiled for me for Wonder Woman 84, right? Isn't it right?
84.
Wonder Woman 84. I've seen something kind of spoil on one of the Lego sets because all the merchandise is rolling out now because the original release date was now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But yeah, Lego sets they're very good at giving you spoilers there. So
Also, super painful to step on. So I
Oh,
think
yes.
avoid Lego sets is just good life advice.
they hurt you your expectations and physically.
How can a plastic toy hurt you emotionally and physically?
Well, there you go. There you go.
That's not
I
fair.
mean, it's like that's coal test. You walk on coals to build self confidence. You walk on Legos to harden up your feet and be like, I can step on anything now.
But I just like give myself pep talks in the mirror to build my self confidence. We can leave the coals elsewhere.
No, it needs to be Legos. It needs to be like Duplo Legos, the big ones that really hurt when you step on them.
You could kill a vampire with those things. Like, good lord.
Of course, Ryan asked, did anybody buy a Ghost Head's face mask? And no.
No, but I think I need to buy my kid one. But anyway, I know what I
And
did.
he just did it again.
Anyway, it just yes.
The
But
inside
no. Yes, and I apologize for anyone who doesn't know. There's going to probably be a ton of inside jokes dropped, but we still love you all.
Yeah. My mama didn't love me enough to get my records. I only got Mega Blocks.
Hey, Mega Bloks put out a really nice Enterprise D set that I've got, and I loved it.
And I just bought a Lego blocks a few years ago of the Technodrome, and it looks awesome. I haven't got to put it together, but it looks awesome on the box.
I bought the van for my son. Yep,
Quote
sure.
Ryan, it's Harshman's fault, which that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the Mega
there's so
Bloks
much
also
stuff I
put
can blame on
out
that guy.
the Mega Bloks also put out that big ship from Halo, Autumn Forward onto Dawn.
Yeah,
It's one of the ships.
Pillar Ottoman. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I can't, but they put that out, so they get some cool stuff. It's just
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. That's what I'm waiting for my little one just to get a little bit older, and we're gonna put together the Technodrome and the Firehouse. Not the same time, but we're gonna put them together eventually, and that's gonna be fun.
you don't want to do an exercise in patience by putting them both together at the same time.
Well, I don't want to have like the giant eyeball on top of the Firehouse or something, from the Technodrome. No. I mean, I love my mashups, but let's not get carried away here.
And if you're wondering why we're talking about Turtles, just remember there was a Turtles and Ghostbusters crossover in the IDW
was.
comics.
That's what we need.
actually.
There
that's
you go.
prop
There's
I
a good
might have
segue.
and have would be really, really. I really like the little palm thing.
The palm
that they
blasters,
had.
yeah.
Palm blasters were really, really cool. So that's a prop that would be super easy to make. That I'm surprised somebody hasn't yet.
That may think that's a good segue here. Me and you could talk about here. I know many of y'all probably been clamoring for new Ghostbuster stuff like this. We're getting the new movie, and if any of you are not aware, if you IDW has a Ghostbuster series that's been going on. How long, Rook? Now? It's not the ongoing is ended, but now they do
It
events.
started in 2011.
Okay.
It
been-
started
orig-
officially in 2011. It was ongoing for a couple of years. I think it got quote unquote canceled in 2013. I want to say. Of course, I can look this up all later.
Yeah.
But then I think about a year or two afterward, they actually brought it back. And so what they've been doing now
Yeah,
is
just
that instead
events.
of having an ongoing series, it's been 4-issue mini events that are still continuing on the story. So it's weird because it's like it's still ongoing, but it's just not publishing regularly like a normal ongoing would be.
Someone
But
talking
still
about a
great.
Netflix series. Was that the original proposed? Was it Ghost Force or what was
Ghost
the?
Force.
Yeah.
Ecto Force.
Ecto Force. Yes.
Yeah, that was something when we were out in California at the Answer the Call trailer premiere back in early 2016. We were sitting around the lunch table talking to Ivan Reitman, and he was telling us about some of the projects, and Ecto Force was one of those. That was going to be another series, TV series, and
Let's see if I'm not.
And then nobody
Something
understood
where-
what was going to happen after the call. So, or answer.
Yeah.
So,
Answer the call, yeah.
yeah. So things have definitely changed from that aspect. But
Yeah, the roller coaster ride the property has took the last 4 or 5 years has been crazy. It went from, they were doing a little bit, then nothing, then they tried the 2016 movie and, mixed emotions from everybody. And then they were going to do this, and then they decided to redo the original timeline, and now we're getting Afterlife. So it's
I
a
mean, it's great that the franchise in and of itself has embraced the idea of a multiverse and just run with it, especially in the comic books.
Yeah.
Which not only opens up a whole narrative landscape of stories that can be told. Like, there's just so much story potential to be told when you've got an understood multiverse. It also basically is just an easy way to explain to people why certain things don't match up.
Yeah.
How is this thing canon? Is this thing canon? You can say, yes, it's all canon, but to that particular multiverse. So, real Ghostbusters is its own multiverse
Yep.
compared to the film Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Sanctum of Slime is its own thing. Extreme Ghostbusters is its own its own universe. So it's kind of cool to see all of that kind of come together. And as to how the new film, especially, is going to fit in with all of that, I'm super excited to see. And that is my TED Talk on multiverses. Thank you for coming.
which I saw. If you were a fan of the 2016 movie, there is their series still ongoing? I know they had a comic series that was ongoing.
You mean the 2016?
Yeah, the ATC. I answered the call. They had a comic series going.
Yes,
Okay,
they had,
so
they
if,
had
if
a
you're
comic series going.
well, if you were a fan of it, and you still want to continue on with those characters, that is a great way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say is to understand that the Answer the Call comic book it's its own separate canon.
Yeah.
Apparently, because for example, the Answer the Call Ghostbusters actually do cross over to the film Ghostbusters universe in Ghostbusters 101.
But that's not the
And-
same ones in their comic series, correct?
No, it's not the same one of their own. It's not the same characters in their own comic series. One of the main things that I think of is that in in Ghostbusters 101, we finally get to see quote Mike Hat,
Yep.
which is, I think, it's his dog. It's Kevin's dog, but it's an actual dog. Like it's it's actually his service animal. In many ways, because people will ask Kevin to do something, and of course he'll just be off Kevining, and then Mike Hat will do the thing, and so people are like, oh, that's actually a service dog. Whereas in the Answer the Call comic book, Mike Hat turns out to be a terror dog. So I'm like, all right.
I see Sean talking about the golden books. He has the 2016 golden books. Yes, those golden books are adorable. They are. It's a really fun little way to see both. They did both movies, and both of them the golden books are really good on both of them.
yeah, those books are pretty good. I read those to my kids when they were younger. It was only 4 years ago, but
Well, they were younger then. I mean, the kid 4 years is like a
We
big
all
jump.
were. Joe asked if the Ecto were ever retired and replaced with a new iteration.
Dodge Magnum.
Dodge Magnum.
Yeah, that's close enough.
That's always going to be the go-to. It fits the look.
Yeah, it does. But they don't make the Magnum anymore, correct?
Yeah, I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
So I don't know if they came out with something new to be it. I don't know. I haven't really looked at what wagons are not really a thing anymore, are they? We have
Well,
SUVs and
No,
Well-
not really. Because I mean, the whole thing with the 1950s aesthetic is to make everything look like a rocket ship, or everything look like almost retro sci-fi, which is what makes the Ecto 1 so endearing. Is that its design is minimalist, but at the same time iconic. And there's just not a whole lot of vehicles today that I think fit that bill.
I mean, if
quite
I mean,
honest. Go ahead.
I was just to say, if anything, if you wanted that kind of aesthetic, it would have to be an SUV. I mean, I don't think you can do a hatchback, because hatchbacks are what kind of took over.
Yeah.
that in between of a car and a like large vehicle with a trunk.
Well, let's be honest though. If it was probably something modern, like would probably be those little, whatever those weird little vans or they are that like ambulances are now, or the Amazon trucks are. Those little vans. That's probably honestly, if it was a
Uh,
functioning business, that
Yeah.
would probably be the Ectomobile.
Delivery van.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some kind of box van looking thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like those Mercedes trucks that they use on
yeah, exactly.
American Pickers or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can fit a containment unit in there.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
You seen the trunk space in this thing?
Or if they really wanted to go something wild, they could do a Tesla truck.
Oh man.
Can we get Elon as a sponsor for that?
Yeah. Yeah, Tesla packs.
I'm just saying, if there's one guy in the real world that could probably build a proton pack within the next
Yeah.
decade, it'd probably be that guy.
Yeah.
So
We'll have one next year. Oh man,
And it will really roll.
it will. It will.
well,
Along those lines, if you guys, casual Ghostbusters fans, haven't been paying attention, especially if you're in our age range, who were kids in the '80s, except for Rookie, the real Ghostbusters figures are appearing finally on shelves at Walmart. The clones of the originals from back then. They've been hard to find, but finally starting to show up. And so we were talking in another group the other day. I think Craig was asking if, yeah, there they are. There's Winston.
Let me turn my light off. There we go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And
Also,
almost.
if you're, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'd say also, if you're looking for them, if you're lucky enough, be on the lookout. Some of them have "Who You Gonna Call" on top, and apparently that was what was it? They're the original printing, and then they changed it afterwards. So if you find one with "Who You Gonna Call," you've got a extra special one. So keep an eye out for those.
That was the first issues of this new one, but I read there was something with Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah, something with
that. Even though it's still kind of printed in the little text bubble above the figures.
Yeah.
But I noticed like Pixel Dan, if you ever watch him on YouTube, on Twitter, he's been showing off his figures that he's been getting. And he's been getting the foreign cards. And I've noticed several people have gotten the ones with all the foreign print on it.
Yeah, I've got the Stay Puft and Slimer with the "Who You Gonna Call." Those were like some of the first figures that I found when I was looking for them.
Yep. And but anyway, we were talking about having it really roll as a joke to Matty Collector when they were trying to do the fundraising for their version of the Ecto that was going to be about 15 feet long and never got off the ground. Their part of their marketing pitch was "it really rolls."
Yes. But now you're speaking of Ecto merchandise, you're currently enjoying building your own miniature Ecto, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And before we jump on that, I had mentioned Craig was talking about, if they were to if Hasbro were to offer up another Kenner style Ectomobile, would we buy it? And the answer is
100%.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Two of them. Three for you. One for the boy, one to box, and one to play with.
Yes.
Well, that and the plastic they were made out of doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
Because over time it'll start deteriorating now.
Yeah. I mean, all those toys are, they have been cheap plastic 35 plus years,
Mm.
Yeah. But Eagle Moss has put out a 3 foot long, it's right at 3 feet long, Ectos, die cast metal, build it yourself. Takes about 2 years to put together because they send you 4 little kits every month. And I've been putting those together since I had it pre-ordered, and they've been getting those every month now. So I've been building them. I think I got my first one in January, the first kit. So it's a slow process. It's very tedious. These are tiny parts, tiny screws and all, but man, they sent a poster, the actual size of it, and it's going to be huge.
Tell them about your most recent delivery and pieces you've got to put together.
Yeah. For the old heavies in the Ghostbusters fandom, um, the slogan is built or bought. I'm sorry, built not bought. That was kind of a kind of somebody had made a sticker that they used to put on their packs. I built my proton pack. I didn't have to buy it, and that's become even more contentious now since Spirit Halloween's been releasing their stuff. But um, the latest pack I got from Eagle Moss was the 4 packs and a trap that you actually have to build. These little tiny packs, you have to do all the intricate building for it. They come in little pieces, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Also, let me know if someone's listening to music upstairs. Let me know if that's coming through. So,
now we'll just all dance to it.
okay. I think they're having a dance party upstairs.
And speaking of background things, in case you didn't know, Rookie is actually sitting inside the farmhouse that will be featured in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, he's live from.
Yeah, he's live from Oklahoma.
Don't tell them though. They don't know that I'm here. I just lied to them and said that I was part of catering, and you'd be surprised how easily you can get into places when you're holding like 30 hamburgers in your hands.
That's the only way we'll let you into our house.
Yeah.
You completely made me reevaluate how I should enter buildings now.
I mean, yeah, that and a ladder. They didn't even
Yeah, nobody else
ladder.
not questioning you. I'm going to fix something.
You. God, man, the places I've been and the things that I've taken without permission. Take a ladder with you everywhere.
This live stream is not a admit of guilt, so
5 years from now, my lawyer is going to be like, he is completely innocent, and then the judge is going to be like, well, this stream from 2020 says different.
it was 2020. Nothing. Everything goes.
He's just like, dude, it was 2020.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, wait to act like you belong and no one bats an eye.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I see. Jeremy made a remark about the 1A with stickers. Yeah, that would be a good option if Hasbro decided to remake the Ecto 1, include the sticker pack for the 1 and the 1A. That would be that'd be a good way to even sell more of them if somebody wants to buy one Ecto 1 it and then Ecto 1A the other.
Yeah.
Because I think there's really not much difference between this, but the caution stripes, logo, and pink slime stickers, like he says,
and the the LED.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
Annie says hi.
Hello,
Hi,
Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Annie, are you okay?
Oh dang it, you beat me to it.
We are dads. We do this. And my wife said, "Get Ron Daniels for legal representation." Always.
To be 100% honest,
Always.
I got him a very fancy bow tie from Disney when I was working down there.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was just like, hey man, yeah, just if you ever come down here, whatever, we'll grab some lunch or grab some dinner or something. But I think legal representation might work as well. So.
Yep. He was our attorney in the web series. If you don't know who Ron Daniels is.
Jesus, Mary and Jimmy Carter.
Yep, he was legal at corporate. Which also, like I said, going back to the web series, like I said, you had Ron there, and then you also had Ben. How do I pronounce this? I've known him for over a decade. Langlaney. He has his cameo in it, so therefore, like I said, that's the cool thing about it. They tried to build, or they're still going.
They're still working on it.
Yeah, they're trying to build a universe. And I know.
Yeah, and we're still kind of part of it. We're just kind of the defunct crew right now.
We exist. I still stand firm. We got arrested. We're in jail.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be a great explanation. So there you go. There's at least one theory.
While we're on that idea, I say we expound upon just a little bit of what I know it wasn't necessarily what Adam might have had for the series, but honestly, what do you guys think your characters would be doing, or what would have happened? I mean, I love the idea of them actually getting arrested. Like,
we were close.
Yeah.
Let's see. Probably for me, like I said, if it is, of course, my significant other wife, her name was dropped in as the the girl that's in the series with me. I'm sure it'll probably be, hopefully art imitates life, and been the father thing and got a little bit more responsibility, and probably got scared the crap out of me when we got arrested or something, and would have like put the not the pack but the ghost sprayer on the shelf for a little while.
That is fair.
And I think we'll need a great, if it does happen and we can do it, we need a great 80s style montage.
I'd be totally down for that. I'm sure we can find some like royalty-free 80s montage music out there somewhere. What about you, Brock? Still arrested. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Still
I
in
mean,
prison.
I was the one who was busted
Yeah,
lurking outside the house.
He took the fall.
Yeah, I'd probably still be sitting in jail. I don't know, maybe with Twitch or something, trying to figure out what happened to Jennifer. For those of you who don't know, Jennifer was the girl we were tracking down in the series.
Oh boy, you just I'm just like I just like the idea of you just sitting in jail, and then there's just the two cops just like every day outside of your cell arguing about things like whether or not Smurfs are mammals, or stuff like that. Who could win in a fight, Hulk or Doomsday, that kind of thing.
Well, what about
Now,
you?
I'm going to be awake tonight thinking of that. Thanks.
I mean, I honestly have to think about how would I feel if we if that kind of thing happened. And I mean, I think pretty succinctly we like the idea is that we failed. Like we never found her, so I probably would have committed myself to just doing whatever I could to find that, even if it's to no end, because like I don't know. I would feel horrible if it's just like, hey, you guys screwed up so badly that there's some girl floating around in some ungodly limbo because y'all messed up. So
Yeah, we're professionals.
yeah.
Yep. And Jeremy saying Smurfs do not lay eggs.
How do you know that, Jeremy?
Dude,
What if they're like platypus?
dude, Papa Smurf has a beard. They're mammals. Thank you for getting that reference, Jeremy. I love you. I don't know though. Like I while I'm still thinking about it, I just like this idea. I like the idea of us potentially failing, because I think that not only does that create for later on in the series, if we continue to do it, chances for like our own flaws and hangups that we have as characters, but also would be a chance to grow from such things and to eventually succeed later. And also it kind of actually creates stakes, which makes, I mean, like I had my train of thought, and then I read what Kevin just wrote.
Yeah, that's what lost me.
And Ryan's asking, do I know where
Wow.
COVID came from? And I tell you, yes. When a mommy and a daddy COVID love each other very much.
PG.
The stork brings the COVID.
The stork brings the COVID. The bat brings the COVID, actually, I think. Oh,
I'm
man.
not going there.
I'm like sitting here like, what would be the obvious narrative progression? And then it's just like, Smurfs shed their skin. I can't say. I'm too surprised to say this chat went. Either way, I think it'd be great. I would personally love to continue doing it at some point. Just don't know how, just don't know when.
Well, the first step is to get you up here closer to us at some point in our lives before we all have to be trapped.
Likelihood of that is not very likely right now. Yeah. Slim to none. Snowball chance in hell. But I think it could still be done one of these days.
Yeah, well, I'm probably a decade or less from retirement, I hope. So that'll free me up.
I say the fans of the web series are going to suffer like true Ghostbuster fans. They're going to have to wait a very long time for an edition.
Yes. 30 years.
Definitely.
Well, I don't know about 30 years. I'll probably.
So Ryan, hey Ryan, Scott, he said, I miss you guys. I'm supposed to be at Huntsville Comic Con next month, but I have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah, I was talking to Steve Clark the other day, the guy who runs backtothefuture.com. And I was talking to him about coming up there because it's been 7 years since I've seen him, and he and I are still pretty close friends. And go up there and see Oliver and Terry with Team Fox and their DeLorean that are going to be there. I want to go. I want to see them. I want to see you. I just don't know. That's the only convention right now outside of Dragon Con that I know is happening at the moment
Scheduled to happen, yeah.
here. But, I'm just cautious.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's all you can do down at these.
Yeah. So I hope, well, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we're going to see you regardless one way or another.
We'll see you soon.
Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but one day.
Yeah. That being said, I'm actually going to be, hopefully before the end of the year, I should be in your neck of the woods, Ryan, down in Orlando, Florida. So, maybe.
Yeah, Rook and I were down there. I was down there for a work conference. Rook was actually part of the college program down at Disney back in March. Mm-hmm. And he, of course, naturally got the unfortunate news that they were shutting that down. And I left Disney World March 13th, the day, the weekend that they shut the parks down. So I was one of the last few guests. I know Friday when I left, it was deserted where I was. A lot of people gone. But hopefully we'll be able to get back down there soon. I know he wants to be back down there working, and I certainly want to be down there in the Magic Kingdom because that's home, second home for me.
I want to be down there working. You want to be down there not working.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I get that. I 100% get that.
He wants to be up where they run, where they.
I want to be
all day in the sun.
I want to be where the people aren't right now.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, Ghostbuster questions.
Yeah, or about to say, here's something we talk funny. We are a costume group. Anybody got any questions about doing like your costume or building your proton pack, purchasing a proton pack? That's what I say. That's what we got Shane here for. Shane is a builder extraordinaire.
Yeah,
you've been toying with the 3D printing.
Mm-hmm. So all the 3D printers are running right now for various things, and
yes, I do.
Anything Ghostbuster related?
Right now, not really, because everything's being kind of shifted.
Yeah.
The only thing really Ghostbuster wise is the real Ghostbuster proton grenade.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
I'm working on that and getting all the electronics wired in so it actually does sounds and has the depression button where you can press it down and it does the countdown timer.
Oh, awesome.
That's nice. So it'll be done with Arduino, or
totally want.
I haven't decided. You can do it in various ways. If I do it with Arduino, I got a little bit more control over it as far as how it works. But if I build it the way I kind of want to work, I can do it two ways. I can have one that is a static prop that does all the sounds, and then I can have one that is one you can throw at people or whatnot that's made out of foam, and it will still work because it has less components inside of it.
Nice. I used to have an alarm clock like that. You would throw it against the wall to shut it off. It was a soccer ball, a squishy soccer ball, and it would go off, and you throw it against the wall, and it would stop it.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the running thing I was working with, but right now I'm trying to figure out how to do the dancing toaster with a wireless controller.
Ooh,
so,
nice.
Oh, come on!
I've seen so many people.
I'd say, come on! You want the oversized, power plug for your toaster or the power cord?
No, yeah, if I do it the way excuse me, the way I want to do it, and I can get it because batteries are pretty strong now. And if I do a solenoid, you can basically punch a hole in a table, depending on how much current you run through
Wow.
it. So
Nice.
Ooh.
I can get it if you got the thing, and you. That's the problem. I'm trying to work it out right now because you can get everything in a toaster, like a regular toaster, because how toasters are built, and just have a regular cord, and you don't have to worry about hydraulics.
Yeah.
And but
Jam
that-
everything in a toaster. It'll still work.
well, that and I want it where it has a tray where you can pour stuff into the slits.
Oh, nice.
And it catches crumbs.
Yeah. So
I've got I've got the actual accurate model of toaster, but when I went down to check in my storage unit, it had fallen, and the whole front faceplate has broke in pieces. I opened up my storage unit; it was on the floor in pieces. I'm like, well, gotta find another one.
I mean, you can. There's ways to fix it. I mean, there's always ways to fix stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on the day that somebody like makes one of those toasters that dances but can also still actually toast. That will be
There, you can, if you have it wide enough and you fake the perspective, you could have enough room for the heating elements.
Rip and Peas. Yes, Rip and Peas toaster.
So,
And hello, Joshua from the Massachusetts GBs.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hi, Joshua. And our buddy Philip from the Tennessee Ghostbusters asked if we're going to have a drive-in theater showing next week. The answer is yes. Up in, help me pronounce this, Gwyn?
Guin.
Guin. Guin. Guin.
That's an interesting part of our state. They have a lot of interesting names. There's Guin. I believe there's a town called Boldo up there. It's interesting
Ain't that one of
names.
them Legend of Zelda characters?
I believe so.
I am Boldo.
But yeah, June 8th is normally every year Ghostbusters Day because that's the date of the first movie's release. And with everything that was going on at that time, this Ghost Corps from Sony decided to push it back. And so the new Ghostbusters Day will be July 1st. And so there are a lot of drive-in theaters they announced today that will be showing the movie. And so I think maybe next weekend, they're going to show it all through next weekend. So I think a few of us are talking about heading up there and socially distancing in our cars and, yelling at everybody out the windows.
Maybe we'll get lucky, run a new trailer for Afterlife before it. That would be a good way to do it.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And I think Craig had put up in the Yes Have Some podcast group today that, maybe we'll get a new trailer since they're moving. Since they're moving Ghostbusters Day 2 next week.
But if we don't get something next week, it would be really cool if they save it for maybe the original release date.
Yeah.
Well, it would still be a few days because it was originally like July 4th weekend, wasn't it?
July 10th.
Oh, okay, the week after July 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Welcome. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract from prop talk. Yeah, but
Speaking of props,
yes.
What we ever say on a script?
Yeah,
I know, right? Well, dude, this is how panels always go. It's
herding cats.
It is. I've had to do it. But when it comes to props and stuff like that, of course, me being biased in who I am, I feel like once again the comic book is just a plethora of source material for new props, or at least like props that might have appeared in other forms of Ghostbusters media, but have been like either refined or just slightly changed in the Ghostbuster comic book.
well, that and you also had that portable proton pack that's basically a PS1.
Oh, you're that'll go up Jeremy Mark's
Ghost Smashers.
character, the Ghost Smashers
Smashers
with their technology.
Yeah, and earlier in the comments, Jeremy asked if we were going to do the Alabama Ghost Smashers. I'm like, well, we have the patches.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, Ricky can't hear us now. Let's talk bad about him.
Yeah.
Where is he going?
Well, we talk bad about him when he's not even when he is.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Ricky has been trying to get a pack from Tainted Love, the older comic book
I don't know
version.
what's been said in the last like 10 seconds, but
You
I'm
don't
a
wanna
huge
know.
Fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't want to know.
It's Cantalus.
But no,
And-
as soon as I can figure out how to put this on a hat, that's happening.
And Sean, yeah, I think Stranger Things kind of helped kickstart the things going because I agree that I could see some similarities in from just the styling of what I've seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
I
But
think
they've also talked about they're not going the Stranger Things route as far as, I mean, for the look and everything, but they've said it's going to be funny. It's going to be still kind of holding on to the comedic tone.
that's the one thing that's what I tell everybody about Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is a great mishmash. Like Ghostbusters being funny is a great part of it, but it is not the core of the movie. It is
Right.
to me, I still think it's a sci-fi comedy rather than a comedy sci-fi movie, if that makes sense, you know.
I'm trying to parse that.
Well, I'm just saying that the sci-fi, the comedy is part of it, but it's at its whole, it's a sci-fi movie.
See, I always saw it as a going into business comedy
I can see that too.
because it's basically them getting fired from their previous job, deciding to go out on their own, and all the hijinks that come with that. Because
Speaking,
So you're saying for anyone for Ghostbusters, it's whatever it wants to be, right?
I feel like it is because you can project so much onto it.
Yeah.
Bec- excuse me, because like there's some people that's like, oh, I like the sci-fi aspect with the proton packs and
Yeah.
I like the kind of occult kind of mystery that they got to solve. Oh, this person gets possessed, Dana gets possessed, what's happening? Then there's some people that's like, I like it because I like stripes.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
which one of y'all is Bill Murray? Which one of y'all
Yes.
is Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
But yeah,
Just
I feel
that
like
Dan Aykroyd fella.
I feel like Ghostbusters, you can kind of it's one of those movies. I mean, I like it because it's something that doesn't beat you over the head a lot of times, like some movies do with certain things, and it's just something you can just watch, and you don't have to be super into the story. You can just watch it, and you're like,
Yeah, pick up and watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah,
turn it on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I always watched it and felt about that. It's one of those movies that you can just pick up and watch no matter what you're doing. You can watch it, and if you want to invest the time and nitpick every little scene and find every little Easter egg or what's all behind this and what's all the filming locations, you can, but you don't have to. You don't to enjoy the movie as
You
much.
just have to if you want to be like, the best fan ever. I'm just joking. Like,
Being the best fan
I-
ever is never a competition.
no, it's never a competition.
Enjoy it for how you want to enjoy it.
No, and I agree with him. Like, that's a really great part of it that they put that much detail in that people can go out and find these things and enjoy these things for what they are. I, for one, am the kind of person who I enjoy Ghostbusters for not only the lore and the themes presented in the movie, but because it's a universe that is ripe for storytelling. Because there's just so much about the Ghostbusters universe that only gets explored in like secondary and even tertiary forms of media, which I think is kind of a shame. And I'm hoping that this movie, the new movie that's coming out, doesn't shy away from expanding on that.
Oh, Paula, I've watched the movie millions of times, and there's still ever so often something new I did not catch before, or something. It's incredible.
That's actually a great question. What are some things that you guys like? It took you a couple of viewings to really like pick up on or catch.
Well, as I've gotten older, my memory's gotten worse, and I know my wife, if she's still in the comments, she'll have to remind me what I picked up on last time we watched it. I don't remember what I picked up on, but I picked up on something new, and she's like, "You didn't know that?" And I'm like, "I'm old. Leave me alone."
Well, for me,
You
for
don't
me,
know
like I
what
said,
Class 5 is?
What?
Jeez, Brock.
and for me, like, growing up, watching it when I was younger, the favorite characters was Dan Aykroyd, Ray, and Bill Murray, Peter Venkman. But now that I've got older, I identify more with Winston being the everyman working guy, and then appreciating Harold is Egon. Like Egon has been the greatest gift for me older watching the movie, not just because he's gone now, but just some of the little things he does that makes it so wonderful. Like when they're doing the billing for the hotel bus, it's been 10, 15 years ago when I noticed it, but the noticing of him holding up $4,000, the $1,000 and all the little nuances he did. That was,
I'm with you on that one. It took me forever to notice.
Yeah.
That.
There it is. Yeah, she just said it was in Ghostbusters 2 when Danny tells Pete she's going to put Oscar down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're short. Your belly button sticks too far, and you're a terrible burden on your mother.
I would say the thing that I never really noticed until way later would be like the technical stuff. It's like some of the like Egon's. Everybody says that the proton packs just appear out of nowhere, but you see in previous you see in previous scenes he's working on them.
Yep. And
when they're eating dinner, where Peter's trying to get the petty cash, and Ray's like, "This is the last of the petty cash."
Yep.
He's working on a thrower in the scene, and I'm like, and they also some of the other stuff. It's like, like if you watch it back, like that they had been working on some of this stuff beforehand.
Well, they kind of do that again with Egon in Ghostbusters 2 when you see him midway through the movie and he's working on the slime blower.
Yeah.
What do you ever say, blaster or whatever it's officially called?
The mood slimer.
Yes.
And then that's another thing. It's like some people say, "Oh, those things just appear out of nowhere." I'm like, no. When he's talking to Ray about the bathtub trying to eat Oscar, you see the big shower head. You see the shower head. He's working on the cone and he's working on the sprayer. So it's established that they had already kind of been thinking about how can we use this slime in some form, and that's the thing that a lot of I feel like is really appreciative. Is like you can watch it and you're like, oh, I can connect A, B, C, D because in the background there's something there to confirm that.
That's like that's what Paula said. She said I noticed that the marshmallows that Dana had on her counter were Stay Puft. Mm-hmm. Also, here's you something else to look out for: another Stay Puft Easter egg at the end of the movie when the containment unit is breaching and everything's coming out of the top of the firehouse. The building next to it has a Stay Puft Marshmallows mural painted on it. Mm-hmm. So look for that the next time you watch it.
Yep.
There's a lot of foreshadowing in these films that are pretty great. I think one of my favorite goofs is the terror dog head at the very beginning of the close to the beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. If you watch closely at like the bottom part of its jaw, because obviously it's I don't want to say forced perspective, but I think they like basically overlaid part of the film. Basically parts of the film overlaid together. If you look, you can actually see cars passed through its jaw because of the transparency.
If I'm not mistaken, that's because it's a matte painting where they had to overlay it.
It's optical.
Yeah.
Which I was like, it's just one of those little things that I kind of caught. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
You see it in a lot of 80s movies. Like before they went in and did some stuff to Star Wars, you saw that a lot too. Because the edges were... They composited it on film and they couldn't go back and they's like, oh, this good enough.
So I'd be clean up.
I think the same thing happens when Stay Puft steps on the church. Don't his foot kind of pass through the church at one point?
He goes. There's scenes where he goes basically through the church because it's not where they did the rotoscoping. It's not 100% there. You can see this black hard edge on some scenes.
That's also like with Stay Puft. You want to see another fun goof is when they shoot Stay Puft with the proton packs. You'll notice he's missing his little red. What'd you say? Neckerchief. Yeah, it's missing it for a split second. But then again, it's gone anyway because it gets toasted. So
Well, and then another thing that I think a lot of people miss is like during that scene, it's like you could tell which packs are real and which ones are the stunt ones because Egon's pack is missing a light.
Yep.
It does a cyclotron and then it's missing the one light and you can track it where they use the real heavy ones and then they use stunt.
That's like being a proton pack owner and like even though I know it's the stunt rubber packs, every time I see Is it Venkman that leans it back into
Yes.
the wall?
He
His
leans
iron
back and
arm,
it just goes, his
and it
iron
bends.
arm bends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a pack owner, I'm like, but I know it's rubber, but still though.
I think another one of my favorite ones is, speaking of packs, is that on the hero packs, right there where the, oh, I'm forgetting the part names, but it's the light, the blue light that goes up and down.
Power
on the
cell.
left side of that.
Yeah,
Thank
power
you, the
cell,
power
yeah.
cell. You've got the where the paint wore away.
Oh yeah,
And people thought that those were lights on there, and eventually that became the
video
lights
game.
on the video game pack.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that was a nice little detail when the game came out.
that's that shows you the love they put into when they were recreating the stuff for the video game.
Yeah, that video game still holds up well.
Yeah, even the new remaster. If you got a chance, if you can't find the original, buy the new remaster. The game, it's the original third movie. Get it if you haven't played it yet by now.
The
Definitely play it.
remaster is great, if only because it still has the same glitches as the previous game.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
recently beat it, and
The-
go ahead.
The difficulty on the remaster is way harder than the original one.
Yes, that getting that platinum.
Those
trophy
darn
felt
stone
really
angels.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
oh my god. Oh my god, they're like homing missiles. Like, it's
Yes, and
crazy.
crispy snacks. I love a fresh bag of crispy snacks from the remaster.
Ooh. Crispy snacks. Because,
Yeah, they're not Doritos in the
not
remaster.
Doritos. Lost that thing with Pepsi, I guess.
And Paul, I still need. I'm being a terrible Ghostbuster fan. I still need to watch the movie that made us episode.
It's
course.
fantastic.
I have
It is-
9,000 things to watch, but yes, that's one of them.
It is
Yes.
fantastic.
No, I just saw Jeremy. He said, love the stacked arm patches on the dark suit. Yes, if you beat the game, you get the dark Ghostbusters too. But for whatever reason, just like in the old game,
The original
arm
glitch, yeah.
they're just stacked. The arm patches are just stacked on top of each other. So like you'll see the Ghostbusters 2, but underneath the Ghostbusters 2 logo is the original logo. So it's like,
And someone needs to make that patch. That's
yeah,
something. That someone needs to make that patch.
Lord too.
just
Yeah, Borzu, if you're listening,
Yeah.
patch or as I prefer, pin.
a pin.
Yes.
Add to my collection.
Well, I don't know what the. I guess because we're all on a separate stream, even though we're doing this for At Home Con, we've gone over an hour. I guess it's still okay if we do. I mean, we still got people watching. So if you guys want to keep going, we'll keep going.
I'll hang out for a little bit longer, as long as anybody wants to watch.
If you guys want us to hang out and keep chatting and answering questions, and I mean, it's Friday afternoon and we're all quarantined at home. So hey, why not?
I'll stay as long as you kick Kevin, because every time I look down to see his comments, I start laughing. I lose my train of thought.
Pepsi is the best.
Drink Beppis. Oh man. I tell you what though, like I feel like as a fandom, we've been pretty blessed with a lot of the media and a lot of the figures and toys and stuff that have been coming out recently. I mean,
Recently,
like
yeah.
Recently, yeah, that's yeah.
We were on outside of the RGB toys, we were on a 20-something year drought
Yep.
yeah.
for that, and it was, oh man, when I remember when Mattel got the license and they released the first likenesses of the first ever movie figures. Lord, that went, we went broke,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now that Hasbro's got them,
we're gonna go broke again.
we're going broke again. But if you guys haven't seen, I mean, the new Plasma series figures are out, and they're really nice. I don't think that anybody's ever going to get a likeness of Bill Murray correct. Mattel couldn't do it right. Hasbro almost, but the Plasma series figures are great. They come with a Build a Terror Dog figure. There's 6 figures right now. The 4 main guys, and then Dana, Azul, and then Gozer. And then you can build Zool the Terror Dog, or I'm sorry, Vince Clortho, the Terror Dog.
Does that
So-
have anything to do with the fact that like does Murray actually? Again, I'm not.
I don't have that. Yeah, I don't
I'm
have
not
that
a
works.
Toy person. I'm not a toy person. I don't do a lot of the collecting and stuff like that, unless of course it is pin form. But is it because just like his likeness is he just doesn't give out his likeness?
I don't know how that works.
Well,
are they
because
licensing the?
he's such a perfectly handsome man Nobody can recreate that.
I agree with that.
Didn't
Well-
Sideshow do a figure or something? They're
No,
pretty good.
No,
I mean, I'll chime
Okay.
into that. It's like if it's a celebrity, depending on how they do, they can do the likeness because they can do what they call digiscan now. That's why a lot of the like Marvel stuff is like very spot on because they digitally scan the actor or whoever's face and head. Now, as far as like Bill Murray, he can have where his likeness is because he's a public uh, figure. They have to come to him about licensing his likeness. That's where Sideshow a long time back did a bunch of alien figures, like 1/6 scale alien figures, and they got in so much trouble with everybody because they did not get the permission from the actors to use their likenesses on those figures. So there's probably a clause, like if in newer movies, like the Marvel movies, there's probably a clause somewhere that says, if you are in this movie, we have the rights to this likeness because you play this character.
Well, maybe that means maybe we'll get something from Afterlife with a better Bill likeness.
Probably if they do an Afterlife, they could, like I said, there's ways they can get around it. They can give him the derpy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, no, that's not Bill Murray. It's a likeness of this
Well, it's
person.
Peter Venkman, not
Yes.
Bill Murray.
Pinkman.
So like I said, there's ways around that, but it's normally a lot of times these places want the high scale scans because that is what they're selling is a high scale, highly detailed, a highly articulated figure at a $20 price point.
Yeah. I know it'd be niche marketing, but I'm still like Rookie. This will probably get Rookie on buying the figure bandwagon, but I would love a toy series based on the IDW series.
Yeah.
I mean, it would work. It would look great.
Because I mean, okay, like follow me on this. We already have 3D figures of the IDW crew because of the board game.
Yep.
And those in 3D look fantastic. So I don't think it'd be much of a leap to just.
I feel like it would be a leap because you're looking at I think 25 millimeter scale and figures, and it looks fine that's small, but when you blow it up to one, like let's say, let's be generous, 3.25 scale. That's GI Joe scale, original GI Joe scale. It starts not looking so well. That's why a lot of companies have gone to 6-inch because they can put so much more detail into it. Unless they do like McFarlane does, where they have a lot of soft rubber like soft plastic parts, because it will give some, but you get the detail because it's a softer material than what the figure's made out of. So it's because if you look at McFarlane's Halo figures, they're highly detailed, but when you get them in your hand, some of them are very kind of soft plastic. And a lot of what McFarlane does is the digital sculpting, then it's the paint that makes it pop. Just like when you buy Warhammer figures, the box art is like, oh my god, this is so great, and then you get some of the figures are like, they're like, okay, this is kind of derpy. Because it's the paint that really makes it sell. And like I said, that's another reason a lot of companies have gone to 6-inch because they get so much more detail and so much more levels of across the board, higher quality levels. Right? At least that's what I've seen with figures in 6-inch from 25.5 because I collect 25.5 GI Joes.
Yeah.
So
What it sounds like is we just got to get Luis Delgado to do the coloring on the figures as well as the comic book.
You've got to let the man sleep at some point.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if somebody really wanted to do depending on what scale you could, how prototyping is now, you could have somebody do a digital sculpt of a character, and then they could use a resin 3D printer because they are highly detailed in the microns now. Just a normal base home one. You don't have to go buy the $50,000 one that's at Legacy Effects to get a very high detailed figure. But the problem is then you can't really sell it unless you skirt the issue with like, unless you skirt the issue like they do with third-party Transformers. So,
Well, if you're not looking for super accurate figures and stuff like that, you know, they're also coming out with Hasbro's releasing the RGB style toys. You know, they've got the homage to the old Kenner pack that's coming out, and they've got the line of, you know, the figures with little collectible ghosts that are coming out for the younger crowd. So
Man, you made me think there's something I wish for. Does Hasbro make the Little People figures? Because now I'm thinking I want a Little People Ghostbuster collection.
I don't know if they do or not.
But that's just hey, so if something if you're listening, Hasbro.
Hey, I tell you what,
Right
though,
after the comic toys.
Fisher Price.
yeah, Fisher Price, yeah.
Priorities.
But Playmobil, if you want those types of things, Playmobil has been killing it with the Ghostbusters line, and the Back to the Future now. I mean, Playmobil's released better toys for kids this age from these two movies than we ever got as kids.
Yeah, both of them have been incredible.
Yeah.
The RGB Playmobiles are so wonderful, and it fits the style excellent.
Yep. So hopefully a lot more merchandise to come. Well, I say hopefully, but then I remember I'm on a budget.
I mean,
but definitely pick up the Plasma series if you're a Ghostbusters toy collector, and I think like I said, the toys for the younger crowd, I think they're slowly starting to make their way into the public hands.
You also have to me, with the new movie, they got a very good cross section of stuff for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had they got the Plasma series, they got the real Ghostbusters figures, and then they also got the new Proton wand.
Oh yeah,
that is reasonably priced, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are.
Or compared to what Mattel put out, and it's like when I was looking at it, I was like, Mattel's like what, $500, $600?
Well, that's aftermarket.
Yeah,
That's secondary market. Mattel was pretty reasonably priced when they released their neutrino wand, and when they released their PKE meter.
Was like 100, 125 for the
yeah. Well, I know the PKEs were 60.
Yeah, PKs were 60. Yeah.
PKs were 60.
Yeah, and they're decent PKE meters for toys.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see what Hasbro can come out with, and see if they're actually going to follow through on releasing a pack along with the wand.
I mean,
that's like more Afterlife. Like with doing the Afterlife, I want a Phoebe figure.
Yes.
I need a Phoebe to sit next to Egon.
Yeah, I think we'll get it.
Oh yeah,
they're having to hold all that stuff back, especially now because everything's been pushed back.
Yeah.
Well, that, and like I said, also it's like, oh, never mind. I lost my train of thought.
You're in a good crowd for that. Yes.
Yeah.
I blame Kevin.
But I wouldn't doubt that they may have plans for it, because look at Star Wars Black Series, the Black Series role playing stuff. They're putting out all kinds of stuff for Black Series role playing that, frankly, I'm like, why are you doing that? So hopefully we'll get at least a scaled version of a Proton pack, if anything, maybe like Spirit scale Proton pack.
Yeah.
And then that, for some people that's better because they're maybe like smaller statues, smaller build.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the wand they're releasing in person.
Yeah.
The Hasbro one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that to me is very interesting because, it's something different from Hasbro, really. Considering that beforehand, as far as role playing, they'd done Nerf, and Nerf has a very distinguished look to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Star Wars stuff was under Nerf, so it's interesting to see.
Oh, that's the other cool thing about Ghostbusters. The equipment is just as much as a character in the movie as the actors are. That's.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very front and center in a way because it is. You say proton pack, and people automatically unless
Yeah,
they got an idea, even if they've never seen the movie, they have a
they've probably heard the words or
yeah,
a
they have some
mention.
kind of like abstract view of what it could be.
Well, I
I
mean,
know what
like
a
anytime you
proton
see
is, and I know what a pack is, so...
well, anytime you see kind of like a cartoon character or somebody in a movie, even now, when they try to mimic a Ghostbuster, it's always
Hmm.
some form of like a something they're wearing a backpack with some form of wand or gun or something.
Yeah.
That's
Or like
yeah,
some kind of vacuum cleaner
yeah,
or stuff.
exactly.
So
Looking at you, Nintendo.
yeah, I mean
A poltergeist.
I mean they even it's like it's got there's even an anime where they had a segment with Ghostbusters in it.
Yeah, with the ghost penguin.
Yeah, so I was like people know what it is because especially maybe in Japan or maybe a little bit more because
Go around.
there's so much stuff that I was kind of surprised that they did not announce that they were going to have some kind of like limited engagement animated movie or shorts for the new movie in a way.
Well, you never know. I mean, like I said, we could have been seeing that now, but like I said, because they postponed the movie. We knew it was postponed 2 months ago.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
early into things getting pushed back behind. It was one of the first things pushed ahead. Which, I mean, hey, it's a good thing it got out of the way, and I'm glad they pushed it farther than they did. I'd hate to have it dangled again in front of us and then moved again. So
Mhm.
Yeah, and as you see my background, that's the teaser poster for
Yep.
Afterlife, and thankfully I was able to get my hands on a double sided
Yeah.
theatrical release poster of this. It still says summer 2020,
Yeah.
so that's a nice little. Gonna be a nice little remembrance down the road of what could have been that summer.
I don't care how many times I've watched that trailer. All of it gives me good feels, but whenever the Ecto is rolling again and going through the field, it owns me every single time. Every single time owns me.
Every
Oh.
Fringle.
Yeah, I was trying to. I'd say every.
Was I the only one that ever kind of thought they would have had Holiday Road in that trailer?
That would be a deep Easter egg there for
Very
the
deep.
Herald fans. Very deep.
Because like when they showed the Ecto going for the cornfield and all that, I was like, this would be a kind of a cool spot to have like a Holiday Road playing.
And yes, Kevin, Japan did get the awesome GB game,
Yeah, they really did.
which I've played thanks to emulators, which is so wonderful. And-
And ready to mingle.
The Sega Mega Drive one?
No, the new Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, okay.
And Doctor Who's made a couple. I know Modern Era Who's made a bunch of GB references. I know Tennant's Doctor made one. Capaldi's Doctor's made one.
Hmm. I mean, it's Ghostbusters is kind of like the universal, kind of a universal thing. When if they do a ghost story in something, they kind of work it in somehow.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I like about it. It goes, even like I said, Ghostbusters. It may not be that up there with like Star Wars or the big famous franchise like Marvel, but it's tied to anything ghost related. Like you said, it's somebody mentions something ghost. There's going to be somewhere at one point in the episode or movie or something, a Ghostbuster reference is going to happen,
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's a huge part of the American pop culture lexicon.
which is incredible for a thing that had two movies and one cartoon series. I mean, at the time it seemed like a lot, but if you compare it to other franchises that has just had a barrage of like stuff to add to it, it's Ghostbusters has been really cool with that. People, it's endearing and still stays with people like that.
Gravity
Yeah, man,
Falls
I-
probably
I-
had my favorite reference too. Is they had ghost harassers.
Like Supernatural has the Ghost Facers, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with Jason taking on the direct sequel to Ghostbusters 2 in the 80s, I think we're in good hands. I mean, you got the son of Ivan holding on to it, and he's our age, so I think we'll be okay going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of when I heard they were going to make another movie after 2016, I was kind of worried tell you the
Everybody
truth.
was.
Yeah. And then when I started reading off the cast, I saw some of his previous movies. I was like, this will, if anything, this will be an interesting movie as a conversational movie. See what people's perspectives are. If not a true, I would say not successor, but a true movie that people will identify with the other two.
Jason's an excellent storyteller. All his movies have really good stories. So that's when, regardless of how what direction the movie's it's gonna have a great story to it.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing with Ghostbusters is it has to have a good story. Like any movie, it needs to have a good story. But Ghostbusters, in a way, had maybe I would feel like a little bit extra lasting story in a sense. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the words, and I feel like because it's lasted this long.
Yeah. Well, that's like the thing we think with storytelling. The story's got to be good because, it's not even just Ghostbusters. Multiple franchises. A lot of the fan bases have been burned by either reboots or remakes and stuff. And they're just doing it to sell a product with the name on it. You know, so it'll be good to see. They're going to do something with it meaningful, if that makes sense, rather than just trying to cash in on it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people's getting burned by the quick cash in. We have a license and we're trying to do something with it. We're trying to emulate what Marvel did with their cinematic universe. I mean, I could tell you so many franchises I've gotten burned. And I feel like a lot of people's getting burned by, and like Ghostbusters, in those movies, they made a 2, even though 2 may not be as good as the first one. Is still a lot better than what a lot of these movies Friday the 13th part, whatever. Jason Takes Manhattan, Nightmare on Elm Street part, whatever. It is they kind of it's like 2. It's like Terminator 15.
Can't wait for that one.
I wouldn't doubt they would not. I would Terminator and Aliens and a few other ones. I wouldn't doubt they just keep putting it out, putting a movie out, and seeing what sticks.
And see Phil saying he loves 2. That's an interesting thing. Like I love 2's good, but I love the original. 2's still a fun romp, but it's kind of weird. Like I know plenty of people's introduction there. Some people saw the second movie before the first movie, which is an interesting way to view it. But there's a lot of people who like I said. I see a lot of articles where people are really pulling apart 2, and I'm like, 2 is not a bad movie. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's an addition to the Ghostbuster universe. It's really technically the original Ghostbuster remake because it pretty much follows the same path.
The exact same pattern.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people have hang-ups with it. It's like it's almost a carbon copy of the first movie, except for some tweaks. Because you still have the first act, the second act pretty much follows the same beats. And then you had in between the second act and third act, you had the montage. And then you had this crisis of a family, in a sense, or crisis of somebody close to the Ghostbusters that needs help. And then that's the third movie. But like I said, I can enjoy 2 with no problem.
Oh yeah.
Even though, and there's stuff that if you watch it, you still will pick out stuff that you will enjoy, or not know about. Because, for the longest, the Ghost Nanny.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that was
Peter Janusz.
Janusz. I was like, wait, is that Janusz? And it's like there's stuff in that you could pick out. It's like, and then people them going for the subway. There's some people that's interested in that. New York subway, especially.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say there's people that's interested in finding out more about the New York subways, and to me, I kind of got interested in that too, in a way, through Ghostbusters 2, because they found this abandoned subway, and then I started deep diving through there's so many of these abandoned stations in New York. So it's interesting. It's a very New Yorkish movie, and a very movie that you can find stuff in it to enjoy.
Yeah, that's a big reason I'm interested in Afterlife, with all the stuff taking place in Oklahoma, far away from New York City. What that's going to be like.
Well, I have theories on that, but
Yeah, I mean, there's things I want to discuss, but I don't want to spoil for anybody who's not watched the trailer because there's a lot of great little Easter egg and things. If you're paying attention, that it'll make it like it's. I know. I think it's generally perceived as a direct sequel to one more than two. I think the events of two happen, but Ghostbusters 1 is still what it's a bit more building off of.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the trailer, definitely go through and watch that and just look at everything. And there's going to be some really neat little, what are they going to do with this type moments?
Yeah.
And filling out some of the backstory that a lot of people were like, why did this happen? Why is this happening in 1? Why is this happening in 2? What's the backstory of why is this building the way it is? Kind of thing. Even kind of expanding on those ideas, like who was the engineer of this building? Why was he able to do all this with nobody really paying much attention to the engineering?
Exactly.
Well, Ivo Shandor was the head of the Shandor cult back in the 1920s, and they were filled with very influential people.
Yeah. All right. Houston is asking, did you guys ever experience the Universal Studios GB attraction before it closed? No. The answer is yes, 3 or 4 times.
Which one?
The
Which
Universal Studios.
Well, they had. I was to say, I thought that I was under the impression they had multiple iterations of that.
No, it was the big stage show.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, the Spooktacular.
They're the Spooktacular, but I think what he means is the actual show itself changed slightly. Over the years, like the pre-show changed, and I remember like. I say this as if I was there, but it's just because I've watched a ton of videos because it was Twister by the time I was a kid.
Well, I was supposed to say the one I saw when I went to Universal was out in the open, and where Rocket Roller Coaster is.
Yeah,
that's where it was, and they had Beetlejuice.
So interesting thing about that, that was the Extreme Ghostbusters show.
Oh, okay.
So what was going on there is that they had up until 2005, Universal had the rights to Ghostbusters when it came to like anything that was a theme park. I know that after Twister came out, sometime in the 90s, or sometime in the late 90s, they went ahead and changed Ghostbusters into Twister. But because they were still sitting on the franchise and the ability to use them, they're like, we got to come up with something. And they already had the Beetlejuice like rock and roll review thing going on, so it made sense to have a little like show where the two characters kind of met or combined. And they also had the Extreme Ghostbusters show that was happening at the same time. So they kind of co-opted the name, didn't co-opt the characters, and they just had like a little street show at that where they'd roll out the Ecto every once in a while. It's actually, if you can find it on, you can find grainy VHS footage of it on YouTube. It's actually pretty great.
Which is incredible because back in the day you wouldn't supposed to record those things, but people were whipping out those brick cameras and recording them still. So I mean,
put them on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of tempted to pull one out I have and gut it and make it a Ghostbusters something.
Yeah.
Because they have the camcorder in the first movie.
Yep.
Not a camcorder.
The little Mini 8 or.
No, it wasn't even a Mini 8. It was a full VHS where they're in the library in the first movie.
I'm actually
that's actually a blast from the past because I remember going to Universal Studios back in 2005, and that was the last year that they had the rights to have the Ghostbusters in the parks. And I remember turning the corner with my folks at one point, and then there's the Ecto just slowly rolling down the street with the Ghostbusters walking with it, taking pictures of folks. And I was like, that was the coolest.
Yeah. All my memories are from 90, 93, 94 during that time frame.
Fortunately, I never
down there 3 or 4 times.
Unfortunately, I never got to see any of it. I got to see where it was at, and I got to see where the Ecto was.
Yeah.
But I don't know, he may not still be in the chat earlier, but Ryan Scott, he actually has one of the EGB packs they used in that show.
Yeah.
The one with the Thrustmaster
It looks
base.
it's like a stylized base version of the Extreme Ghostbusters pack. He has it. I think he lives in Orlando, like Rick mentioned earlier, so he has access to things like that. But if you ever look him up,
of
and
which, y'all were saying that it was kind of weird that that there were people who saw Ghostbusters 2 before they saw Ghostbusters 1. If there's anything to better demonstrate the I don't want to say age gap, but like the differing experiences from experiencing it when it first came out versus the fallout of the films, is that my first experience with Ghostbusters was Extreme Ghostbusters and watching that cartoon growing up as a kid, because I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s when that stuff was going on, and so that is what pointed me in the direction of Ghostbusters. And I'm pretty sure I even saw Ghostbusters 2 more than I did Ghostbusters, because for whatever reason it played on AMC all the time.
so funny with me showing my age is my thing watching Ghostbusters as much. I think my first experience to watching the movie was my mom recorded it off of the ABC Sunday Night Movie. So I watched that that was my copy of Ghostbusters for years. That's like there's a lot of it was the Sunday Night movie, so they edited out a few things. Like even the Stay Puft joke was gone. A couple other scenes that I didn't know existed until I was in my early teenage years. So
well, I'm old enough to where I saw it in the theater. First run back in '84.
Nice.
And I remember we were on a camping trip somewhere, some friends of mine and my parents, and we had seen the previews on the TV, and begging my mom to go. And I remember we left that camping trip and then went to the theater to watch it. And Terror Dog scared the mess out of me because I was 7 or 8, and yeah, and I saw it twice in the theaters on the very first run.
It did, Jessica. The Wally Wick.
Yeah,
I would say my first experience with Ghostbusters would have been VHS copy, like the original,
nice.
like a regular VHS copy. I think my mom got it from McDonald's. Or something like what McDonald's used to give out, like you bought something, you could get a VHS copy of something.
Yeah.
Wow.
like the Burger King Turtles episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember watching it on VHS, and the part that scared me the most was the librarian, where she morphs. And then I remember seeing Ghostbusters 2 in the theaters, but I was more into the cartoon. Because when I watched it, Ghostbusters came on Fox 21, I believe it was, and they would show Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, and then like some random rotating show like Texas, the space, not space, the one that they're Texas Rangers in space, or Jason the Royal Warriors, or something. Like I said, I remember Heathcliff. They had Heathcliff with it.
The thing talking about scenes and stuff scared you in the movie. Like both movies are good, but I don't know what it is. Ghostbusters 2, and it still creeps me out to this day. The subway scene with all the heads where the train derailed.
Dude,
that is scary
nowhere.
as crap, man.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like they're cracking jokes, and the next thing you know,
like, they were like doing their stuff, like filming one day, and just Stan Winston just appeared, and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? I'm making Ghostbusters 2." And Stan Winston's just like, "Oh, cool, can I help?" For like one scene.
You know what this movie needs? Plenty of decapitated heads in an abandoned subway.
I'll call up my friend Tom Savini, see if he has any input on this. Like,
yes, Winston. I need that as a text message sound.
While we're on that subject, with it, I don't know if you guys ever watched a lot of Extreme Ghostbusters, but there were episodes of that were horrifying.
Yes.
As a kid, dude, there's a Cenobite episode.
Yes.
Well, there is a Hellraiser episode.
The animation style for EGB is very detailed and line heavy. So like it leaned itself to the creepiness.
I think it was the same studio who animated the
same like 5 cartoons.
Well, no, the Godzilla. Well, because it was that art style. It's like cow art style now.
It was It was
Godzilla.
Shin Ghostbusters, Godzilla, Men in Black the series.
Yes.
And there's one more that I'm forgetting, but it was another major franchise, and I cannot for the.
Was it Evolution?
No, that was a different company.
Okay. Hold on.
Those are
maybe
the
they
big ones. They just had these franchises, the animated.
The Return of the Grundle in EGB. I see Jeremy talking about the Jersey Devil. The Return of the Grundle. That's how you do a sequel to an episode and like make it even more terrifying.
I need to go back and watch all the Extreme Ghostbusters because that came out when I was after high school and had gotten into the Air Force. So I was naturally busy with other things.
I think it's on Hulu.
Never caught it. Is it?
You know what? I'm gonna.
It was. I don't know if it still is, but it was.
Because I gotta see what company did that. Because I don't think it was Deke.
And I love Jeremy's comment here. He says, "You know what we really do? We need to tone it down for the RGB crowd, but add in severed heads."
Yeah.
CNK International was the animation studio, but they did the Man in Black series, New Adventures, New Batman Adventures, Batman Beyond, Spider-Man Unlimited, Justice League. Totally Spies.
Yeah.
I associate that look with a lot of '90s cartoons. That's that. When I think about it, that's usually the first thing I think of is like that style of EGB and
the hard edge.
Yeah.
Hard edge.
Except for poor Slimer. Poor Slimer looks like he's never slept in his ghostly existence in EGB with the dark circles under his eyes.
No, and the Popeye arms.
Yeah. Yeah, Slimer looks like those guys in our 40s or knocking on our 40s.
You know, good lord though, like Slimer could throw hands. I have no doubt in my mind. You know,
and hams.
Yeah,
and hams. But it was like, just oof. Don't expect great animation, though. No. I will say because they do get a little bit lazy.
In the later seasons.
In the later seasons, yeah. Like for example, you'll like look at a character's arm, and like sometimes the Ghostbusters patch will just be like a red circle with a slash through it. They don't even.
Well, the same can be said for the real Ghostbusters, the Slimer and the Ghostbuster series. So I mean it, and I mean it happens. It happens to any cartoon series, especially back in the days of hand-drawn animation.
Because it's like, oh my, like you go for Transformers, you go for GI Joe. There is so many stuff off model. Or painted, colored wrong, but that's indicative of 80s and 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like, oh well, how many times did Starscream become this other Conehead or other Skywarp? How many times did Cobra Commander become some other character? How many times did characters
I used to be a man like you?
How many times did characters have gloves and they never painted the gloves?
Yep.
It's one of those things.
Well, it's like going back with the talking about like that, like Me Loving Turtles, like all the great episodes where either they're the wrong bandanas on the wrong turtle, or they don't even have them at all,
or they're missing their belts.
Yeah. Yes, or like I said, as Phil brought up the off-colored Winston.
No, I'll tell you what's funny with Turtles is the missing bandana knot.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
The Turtles are so many great animation flubs in it.
Or because it's like that reminds me of the Ben Affleck Daredevil where they're like, oh, we can't have the bandana knot. You got to digitally erase it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Well, we've been going now about an hour and 40 minutes, so probably should wrap it up. But anything else you guys want to touch on and cover? We've covered a lot. Anybody in the audience still with us? Got any questions or toss them up, or we'll wrap it up here in just a couple of minutes.
I don't know. I am super thankful for Ghostbusters as a franchise, if only because through this franchise. And just being a fan of this stuff, I've got to meet a bunch of amazing people
100%
and have a
agree.
lot of amazing life experiences. So,
yeah,
I mean, in a way, it has definitely shaped my life for the better. So,
I say I've met people I never would have met through thanks to Ghostbusters, and like it's like they always say, as you get older, it's tough. It's harder to make new friends. But like the cool thing about like with this, I've met new people, and like this movie is a shared experience. A lot of us have, and it's like, oh, I agree. I like this thing, you like this thing too, and then you get to know beyond just the baseline of Ghostbusters. You get to know these people, and you love these people. Like all these guys here I'm with, all you who are chatting. Like I said, love you guys to death. These are like I said, I would not known you thanks to this movie, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Making friends is so much easier as a Ghostbuster because here's all you got to do. You go to a convention, you stay up till 3 a.m., you talk with people at Ghostbusters, you have a drink or two. Boom. Friends. Done.
You sit on the floor of the Hyatt.
You sit on the floor of the Hyatt.
Home turf.
The nasty, nasty floor of the Hyatt. Oh, the stories that carpet could tell.
Look, man, I might get con crud a couple days afterward, but I'll tell you what, we won't get sick with anything else, at least for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Houston, you're very welcome for the group, and we're certainly proud that you're a part of it. And he's another one that's a valuable member, and has gotten a new baby girl and all. So we don't get to see him as much as we want to. Heck, we don't get to see each other as much as we want to, especially these days. But we love getting together when we can with everybody. The Alabama Ghostbusters has been truly has been a family now for more than 11 years, and we all have a great time when we get together when we do, and it's good to see these guys on the camera, and it's good to talk to you guys all on Facebook. But we're going to have a whole lot more fun whenever we can all get back in person again. We were so close, as I said earlier in the stream. We were so close in February. There were a bunch of us together for the first time in ages, and we had plans this year. My gosh, we had plans this year. We were going to kick it back into high gear with the movie, but whenever all this mess is over, we're gonna still ramp it up for Afterlife in March, and and we'll schedule events again when cons get going again. We'll be there. We had Alabama Comic Con, Magic City Con, Fanaticon,
Sci-Fi
Fest from Hoover. Yeah, well, I mean, we had plans this year, and COVID.
The coof.
Yep. So,
I mean, like you said, there's we have a lot of good folks with us. I mean, I've never had a bad experience with any of our guys that we still see every day. We talk. Like I said, I got to tell everybody. Like I said, I may not see you every day or interact with you every day on here, but I think of everybody always. It's always fun.
Yeah, and we've made a lot of friends, like you said, in this. We've lost a couple of friends, from life. Ryan Kemp,
Yep.
Unfortunately died a few years ago, and he was with the Western Kentucky Ghostbusters, and you meet a lot of special people. Ryan was definitely one of them, and I'm thankful that we have the opportunities to meet the people that we do, and to form the friendships that we have. And even though we haven't been terribly active the last few years, just for life situations for everybody, we still, like I said earlier, we remain in contact, we remain good friends, and we always pick up right where we left off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks again to At Home Con, Sean Ray, and the guys from the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. This has been our very first live stream, and maybe we can do this a little bit more.
This is fun. We'll have to do this.
Yeah, maybe we'll hop on and do Facebook. Maybe next time we won't do our flight suits. This was for a special, because we're at a convention. I wanted it to feel like
exactly we give the people what they deserve.
Yeah, we always do our panels.
So do we need to build a fireplace too, so we can have fireside chats? So
if you buy the velour jackets, we'll
the smoking jackets.
Yes.
I may actually have one.
I am not one. I'm not surprised at all.
Because I think I bought it for something and never did anything with it, like everything in my closet.
Yeah,
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but again, we just appreciate all of you joining us. We've had a steady viewership of 10 or more during the stream.
Yes, thank you, guys.
So, and a lot of interaction. And we appreciate you guys, and look for the Alabama Ghostbusters to keep doing what we're doing. We may have slowed down, but everybody else has too, but we'll pick it right back up. So, But thanks again, Sean and Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. Thank you for At Home Con. Lots of great things continuing all weekend long, all weekend long with At Home Con. So we've got a link in the descriptions everywhere that'll send you to the public group. Join the group. Check out the schedule. There's a lot of other panels, a lot of other fandoms and topics happening. We're just a very tiny part of it, and we appreciate the opportunity to be that tiny part. And again, we just appreciate everyone joining us. And I guess we'll see you all again real soon.
Yeah.
All right.
So thanks for joining us.